Hello everyone, Mr. Loy here, your friendly D&T teacher. This is one of 3 parts of the training video series on the Secondary 3 and A 2022 Steady Hand Game project. And this part of the stage requires you to use the Sketchbook app on your PLD or iPad devices to produce a 3-dimensional representation of your steady hand game project. Alright, so namely we're focusing on in the training video the base and the 2 vertical supports. Now what parts do you need to also show? Probably the handle and this black wire and this aluminium handle holder. Perhaps you may want to detail it with the 2 round head screws there, it's optional. And of course, last but not least, the wire course, the nichrome wire itself. And of course, at the other end of the handle, you will have a shorter length of the nichrome wire as well. Okay, so for a start, this part of the trainings video series touches on the fundamentals of the Sketchbook app and how you look for resources online and try to make use of what you can find, and especially the colors of for example the base jelutong and the vertical support and the handle, which are made of pine wood. So I'll show you later on. So to start off with, alright, you open up your Sketchbook app, and to make sure that the resolution on the canvas is correct and the highest, so we do a new sketch, and under presets you choose the highest one. Now sometimes the screen resolution is not as high as the one above it, so you choose screen resolution will do. Okay, and then choose create. Alright, so and of course the canvas, the white canvas at the background occupies the entire space, so you may want to pinch it and zoom in a little bit so that you have a sensing of how big the screen, the white canvas where you can draw, alright, will be. Then the next thing is the layers here, alright, at the bottom, this one. If I were to unhide it, hide it, you will see this so-called checkered spaces. This shows that the transparency layer. Of course, this is good later on when I show you when you draw your base or your vertical supports or your handle. Alright, when you add colors to it, you have to make sure that you have drawn the lines, the outline of the parts are connected, okay, and they are thick enough so that when you add colors, when you fill with the bucket here, the paint doesn't go out and cover the entire canvas. Now another basics here is to make use of the internet to look for relevant, alright, wood. For example, pine wood will be, we're going to make a reference with an image that we select here, alright, and provide the actual pine wood color on specific surfaces of your, let's say, your vertical supports or your handle. So if you were to select this one, you can see this pine wood has a lot of knots, alright, K-N-O-T. These are all natural occurrences on the pine wood itself, alright, so these are also known as the eyes of the pine wood. This is really natural, alright, but sometimes we don't want to have so much of these knots that you select and get in the way, but this is just good enough. Alright, I actually select this one. Okay, so I'm going to pick this one. So what you do is you just touch on the image, and then there's a pop-up window. You tap on copy image, and then you can actually close this browser, go back to your Sketchbook app, and over here you just tap one time and you paste. Yes, if you have selected an image like this pine here, and then you just tap and hold for a while, and when you copy image, right, and you go back to your Sketchbook app and you tap here and you choose paste, if nothing comes out, that means it's protected, alright, this image, so you have to select another image. So in this case I've tried this one, it worked. So copy image and then go to Sketchbook app, tap here, choose paste. So down here you can actually adjust the size. Of course, this is just to an image to make the reference of the texture and the tone. So you can actually rotate it if you want to. Alright, so just going to keep it at this corner here, not so big. Right, so just tap done and add another layer. Alright, because we have the base of your steady hand game as the Jelutong wood, so you go back to Chrome. Alright, so I'm just going to show you how to select an image. So down here in the search, you just type Jelutong, Jelutong, and search. This is pretty good, so I just select this. Of course, you can select a few below. Alright, this is also very good as well. So I'm just going to select this one. So you just tap on it and then tap on copy image. Alright, sometimes it shows that it's copying. So let me just close this, go back to Sketchbook. Make sure that you have selected the layer that you want to paste this. Alright. Okay, so this one, I'm going to put it somewhere here. You can make it resize it, not so big. Done. Right. So this is the first layer. I just turn it off, hide it. Alright, this one is the top layer. Alright, so add another layer. We're going to draw something here. Now, if this thing gets in the way, you can always hide it. Alright, another basic is sometimes there's this little lock here. You can actually lock it. Alright, so that you to prevent you from accidentally deleting or drawing on it, or make changes and so on and so forth. So you can protect it. Okay, so now I leave it unlocked because later I need to make reference to it. Okay, so this one is the drawing part, which is a little bit tricky at times, which I explain why. So let me just hide these two. Alright, so let's say I use pencil. Just going to draw something very random first, okay, which looks like my this one. Okay, now you see that I intentionally leave a opening here. Alright, so if you were to, sorry, okay, I didn't select the thing. So if you were to use the transparency, right, it actually selects everything, alright, the base. So you can't feel the color, alright. So what I mean by that, so if you want to fill this color with, let's say, yellow, alright, then you just tap inside, right, the whole canvas filled up because there's a gap in your drawing. Okay, so let me just undo that. So what I like to show is you need to inspect the outline of your base. Alright, this is just a flat surface for now. So let's say oops, sorry, forgot to change the color. Black. Okay, so you can make it bigger and then you try to close it up. So in this case, I'm going to use the eraser to clean up the little bit of it. Now, as you use the eraser, sometimes you also make it very fade, so make sure you close up the Alright, there was a minor accident, so I got to delete that part of it. My phone actually dropped down. So I was at the part where I was trying to show you that if you erase something, alright, you make sure you erase it completely, and then you can actually close up nicely and join. Okay, now you have to inspect the whole thing. Alright, so just to show you that this time round the fill should be good. Alright, so let me just change to yellow first. So if you fill it in, oh no, okay, so it shows that there are some thickness, alright, that is not taken care of, so it actually still fill up everything. So you have to really inspect it, alright, and properly. So to save time, I'm just going to draw something thicker. Alright, maybe I'll just use a black to show you. So I'm just going to draw this thicker. Alright, apply heavier pressure. Right, there's maybe there's something there, but it's close out already. So we're just going to fill it in with a yellow color again. Alright, so if it's thick enough, alright, you can actually feel the color inside. So this is what I mean. Alright, so don't be surprised when you try to feel a color and then suddenly you see everything gone haywire. Alright, you just need to undo and go back to the step. Another basic thing is that when you're about to create another layer or new thing, it's always good to duplicate. For example, you tap here and then you choose duplicate. Alright, and then this is where I mentioned that you can hide the original or so-called master, and then you lock it. So in the event that when you do something here and you cannot undo, or it's really too messy, alright, you can always just tap on this, and then you just throw into the trash, and then you can duplicate again and restart from there. All right. Versus where if you use the so-called master copy here, all right, and then in the event that something really bad happen, right, you already like 100 steps into it already, right? So there's nothing you can do, all right, except to throw it and restart everything all over again. So always have the habit of add layer, all right, or duplicate, and then you work on the previous one. All right. So I just want to show you how to make use of this to fill in the color. So for this case, I'm just going to use this circle. All right. So let's say it's a gelatin base. All right. So I just unhide this, and of course you want to move this in is okay, but you know, you just use the transform there. You make sure that you are on the layer that okay, I'm not, you see. So we always have the habit of not selecting the correct layer where you want to work on. So for example, I want to move this gelatin image, so I have to select this, and then I go to transform, and then I can move it in, all right, closer, so to speak. Okay, so what I want to use is the dropper effect. All right, I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to go to the top layer again in this case. All right, there was a strand of hair there. So it's over here. So what I do is I tap on the buck, we call it the puck, P-U-K, I think. Then you use this dropper effect, and then you just rest it somewhere where you like that color to be, and then it's selected. Okay, so if you want a darker tone, you just use the crosshair and select something that's darker there, all right, and then this will change. So of course straight away you can just fill it. This is a solid fill here, so you just tap it in, it fills. All right, so that can be done. Now, of course, once you fill it, then you see that the real texture of the gelatin has grain lines. All right, those grain lines that goes that way. So, for example, in that case, I will make it bigger to show you. Right, just going to use the dropper effect and choose a slightly lighter tone. All right, you can see the two color tones have changed, and I'm just going to mimic the lines drawn this way. So I'm going to use a pencil. All right, maybe a little bit this way. So I'm going to zoom it in and show you, so you can show that you're running a few lines. All right, if you inspect carefully, you can actually see that I've actually drawn something. All right, there you can see all those lines there. All right, so you try to look at how the grain lines of such things are. All right, sometimes it's darker and then it's lighter. So what you can do is you can make it darker at certain areas, and then you know, just random lines coming down, and then you do your best to mimic how a real grain line looks like. Okay, like so. So you apply this technique throughout your color rendering of your so-called steady hand game. Of course, the next part of the training series, I'll show you how to actually draw this out the fastest way. Of course, the fastest way is still not the fastest way in that sense. All right, you need to dedicate time and attention, you know, and your patience and your tender loving care to your drawing. So I'm going to use another iPad or PLD device to carry on from here.